Good morning. Good morning. Have I mentioned how busy we are right now? Holy cow, do we have a lot going on. I'm walking out to the tractor. We're going to jump in the ripper here and get it moving. I think Brock's coming later this morning, so I'm going to run that until he gets here, and then we're going to stick him in there. I've got a wagon load of wheat that we're hoping to get treated here this morning, and then this afternoon, it might be time to go. I had Dad run over and look at a field of beans last night, and he's like, yeah, we're a day late getting there, but there's still some green ones along the edge. So I'm not sure exactly what that means. We're gonna go check that out here later this morning, but I think harvest starts this afternoon. Let's go. So we mostly just have a few end rows to finish up in this field after we broke that shear bolt yesterday and got that fixed. So we're gonna finish this up, and then we've got, I think, 2 other fields that need to get done today if possible, where they got the litter spread. Yeah, so I'll finish this one up, and like I said, Brock can take over in a little bit. Another round on the end rows here, and we've got this one basically finished up. I did leave over there where Dad's working along the trees. We left him his 70 feet so he can get in and out of there. I think the current plan, we'll talk about this a lot more later, but the current plan is that these 2 cornfields here may go back to corn next year. If that's the case, they're going to get disc ripped this fall as well. So either way, we'll be back in here with the ripper and we'll finish that up after he's done with this project. Not a big deal, but at least the rest of it here is done. Man, it's dusty. We could use some rain. We could use some rain. It would be nice. But this is what it is. So I'm going to finish this roundup, and then we're going to head back. Yeah, we're just going to go to the next field. Head down the road. Working in our next field here. This is one we mapped a couple of days ago. There's that big kind of wet spot with some trees and stuff that we farm around over there. We've got everything loaded into our monitor here, and we should be able to run the boundary track going on the outside. Yesterday I talked about having AutoPath boundaries files set up, which I did for that other field. And then I remembered, oh yeah, I can't run AutoPath boundaries on this tractor because I don't have the right activations on my display. That is a little frustrating thing for me, but it's fine. It is what it is. In this tractor, we are running a 4240 John Deere display, which I understand is capable of AutoPath boundaries, but you have to have like the automation 4.0 activation, and I don't think that's what we have. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I don't really need to run AutoPath for running tillage. So there's a way when I create a guidance line that I can go in and create what's called a boundary track, where it just draws a line inside that boundary, however half the width of my implement is. So in this case, 9 feet off that boundary, and it centers the tractor on that line, and it just kind of goes all the way around the outside of the field. So it's not creating individual guidance lines for each side like AutoPath boundaries would, but it's good enough. And by doing that, then I can use that now with the heavy tillage in the fall, kind of create that edge so that everything's the same. We'll use it again with the field cultivator in the spring, so we're tilling right to that edge, and then I can use it again with the planter, and everything goes to the exact same spot. I don't know, it's cool technology. If it works, it's great. If it doesn't, it's not the end of the world. We can drive it, and we just go about with our day. But I have it, I'm trying to use it, right? Another thing I will mention is that we are ripping this on a little bit of an angle, so you can see our rows kind of run that way, or you can see the old windrow here. We're on a 5-degree angle. This is, I think, at 85 degrees, which is it's that way. No, this is 95. So we always do our heavy fall tillage on a little bit of an angle because it kind of works across the ways of the wheel traffic a little bit, helps rip that stuff out a little bit more, reduce our compaction, and just break that soil apart just a little bit better than if we were going right down the rows and maybe the wheel track is right in between where a couple ripper spots were, or ripper points were, and so this way you rip through that. Just seems to work a little bit better. In the spring when we field cultivate, we will go straight with the rows so that it's smooth for the planter. And yeah, I like doing that. It seems to work better. But so we rip our ground before we plant corn. So it's usually every 2 to 3 years, right? We don't run the ripper ahead of soybeans or weeds. usually. And so one thing that I like to do, and it's really hard to track, but I like to do, is to alternate the angles. And so right now we're on this 95-degree angle. Well, in my display here, we had a guidance line called Ripper. That's the one that we're using. It was set as an 85-degree angle. That tells me that the last time we did this field, we were going this way on a different angle. And so we're like 10 degrees off from the last time. Just, again, does it matter? Probably not. Might it help a little bit? Yeah, it might. So I try and alternate the angles every time so I know which way, we rip it at different angles every time, and we're not always in the same tracks. But it's hard to remember what we did 2 or 3 years ago. In this case, it would be 3 years ago because this is weed stubble. So it helps having computers that remember that stuff. Anyway, Brock's here. We're going to run a couple of end rows here real quick. Have him just make sure he's all good to go and set up. And then I think I'm going to go trick that wheat. All right, Brock's here. We're going to let him take over. We got another round to do on these end rows here. This is one heck of a tool, you know what? It's just massive. It does a really good job. Yeah, he's way off his line. There you go. Cool. I don't know if this truck will hold me. If I sit in the driver's seat, if the suspension's going to collapse, you know. I mean, I do weigh almost 200 pounds. I might be too much for it. Okay, well, I went and checked the next field to do the tillage on to make sure that they got the chicken litter spread. I was pretty sure they did, but they did. Their equipment is still sitting over there. And there's still a pile of chicken litter in the field, I think, because the field right next to it that is soybeans is also getting litter after the beans come off. Well, we can work around that. I'm gonna go treat this wagon load of wheat, and then we're going to combine beans. Turning wheat red. So this is gonna be seed wheat. This is seed wheat. We are treating it with Vibrance Extreme, which is a fungicide. It's actually a combination of 3 separate fungicides. Sedaxin, Defaconazole, Mefenoxam. I think this Defaconazole is Dividend, Mefenoxam is Apron, and Sedaxin is Vibrance. So that's the combination there. No insecticide on this, simply to help with seedling diseases, keep the seed from rotting, help germination, help it get established good here in the fall. I don't know anybody that doesn't plant treated wheat, or you know, that plants untreated wheat. That's not a thing. So I have the ability to treat it, so we do a bunch of that. We got this wagon to do. This is a divided wagon. There's a front and a back hopper. I assume they're the same, but we're going to do them separate. Do the front hopper and then the back hopper, just in case he's got 2 different varieties in there. I have no idea. But yeah, makes it easy for me. All right, that wheat is treated, all back in its wagon. I'll back the drone trailer back in here, and we're going to combine beans. All right, it is first day of harvest here, I think, I'm pretty sure. So we're going to grab the combine and head out. It's right at 1 o'clock now. It's warm, it's sunny. The beans have got to be drying. Dad went over to the field this morning, and his comment was that we're a day late. So we're going to go and see how it goes. I think there's probably still quite a few green ones that are going to be a problem, but we'll see. So it's kind of a long move, this first field, but that's all right. Give us a good opportunity to get everything dialed in and make sure it's all running right. I was going to shop back the floor off in here. Oh well. Need to grab my iPad yet. Outside of that, I am pretty sure the combine and the head are ready to go. Grain cart should be as well. It's going to take us a little while to get everything moved and get really rolling here. Right here is our target field. They look ready to me. Figure out how Dad's going to get in here. All right, we got our head hooked up. It's going to take me a minute just to get everything set up and going here. Once we kind of get rolling, I'll fill you guys in. Okay, well, we're started, but we're not off to a great start here. There was a green spot there that plugged up my tailings, and we had to dump that out. Not a big deal. We'll blend off some green beans. We're going to do that. Most of these are in the field. It was reading like 11%. So they're dry. That's fine. But when I got out, I noticed that problem. There's tires flat. Our tire was not flat when we left. So now I'm wondering if we ran something over, but I don't see anything in it. Kind of rolled around to see if I can find anything, and I don't. But we got to get an air compressor and try and pump that up at a minimum. So, not great here. Also, the 8RX is dead. So we got to put the battery charger on that. This is going to be a slow start. I went and got the gas air compressor. Give her a minute to pump up there. There's just some green spots out here. I don't know if we're going to be able to keep going here or not, but you can see the green leaves there, but then you look out here and they're perfectly fine, ready to go. So we got to get it opened up. It sort of seemed drier on that end of the field. Maybe we'll just run a truckload off and call her quits. Maybe we'll be able to keep her going. I don't know. Okay, we got our tire pumped up. Ugh. Try this again here, I think. Well, we are running again. This is your view for the next several weeks. Get used to it. Here, I'll zoom out one. There you go. Now you can see more of it. Yeah, we just got to decide whether there's too much green stuff like that. I will run 14, even 15% beans all day. Doesn't bother me at all, but we do have to be able to combine them, so we will see here. I will also say this. It's September 11th and we're combining beans. That's generally not a good sign. I had predicted between the 15th and 20th. Was thinking it'd be closer to the 20th, and we're like 9 days ahead of that. And so the only reason we're in here is because it's been so dry for the past month and a half. We've had less than 1.5 inches of rain since the beginning of August, which I know there's probably people that have had less than that, but that's not enough. That's not enough to raise a good soybean crop. So I don't expect these beans to be excellent. I am hoping that the yield average for the field starts with a 5. If we can break over 50, that's not good, but we'll be okay. If we hit much better than that, I will be rather surprised. So we'll see what we get here. Well, we're going to keep going for a while here. 12, it was just down to 10.4. Now we're down in a dip. The moisture's going to spike. We're going to go through some green ones. It's going to really spike, and then we climb back on the hill and it drops. Blend them off. That's the name of the game when you're combining beans early, is just blend them off. All right, well, I just got the grain cart full. Phil's here with his truck, so he's going to empty it. I had to help him get the scale system all set up. Our battery was dead in our Libra, so we had to change that out. No big deal. We got a full grain cart load. Should be a full truck load. They're a little pottier than I want, but we're just getting started, and there's some green beans out here. They're going to be potty. There's not much I can do about it, but we'll keep playing and working, trying to get them cleaned up. I don't know. It says we've got 13 acres done and they're at a 14.1 average. If we're anywhere close to that, we're going to keep going. I just wish there was a little more even. You know, like spots over there like that, green stuff. Those are going to be green. They are green. But hey, we're combining beans and that's a good day. I've got maybe another hour or so that I can run the combine here, and then I actually already had scheduled a plot walkthrough down to Berkey with a customer down there, so I'm gonna head down there. I'll be down there around 6 o'clock, so we'll probably have Dad come over and run the combine for us here for the rest of tonight. I don't know how much more we'll do. I assume Phil's gonna get this truck hauled in. He should get a load in tonight. Ooh, maybe. We'll fill a grain cart, maybe another truck, and the grain cart again. I don't know. That's about it. Hey. Well, we are about 26.5 acres into the field here. Getting drier-ish. I don't know. There's still spots that are green. But our grain cart's about full. Phil wasn't going to make it in with that first truck tonight to the elevator. We don't really want to put him into bins yet. So I think we're just gonna call it here. Get that, and I gotta go anyway. So we're just gonna finish this round. This should top off the grain carts. We'll have 2 loads to haul in the morning, and we'll take care of that. That's kind of what we got done in the field. Whoop. And you can see there's a spot in the middle here it's really good beans, but when I switch to the moisture chart, you can see that they're also really wet beans. The green areas are the wet spots, the red areas are the dry spots. I don't know. Like I said, it still says we're averaging 14.1 for the field, and that's good. It's hard for me to believe with as green as some of them look. So we want to get these trucks hauled in, see what they actually are, give everything else another day here, and hopefully we can keep moving and pecking away at stuff. But I don't know that we have any other fields that are ready to go anyway, so it's not like we have to be in a big hurry right now because there's nowhere to go. Well, that's a pretty decent first day of harvest. We got some stuff done. Now just to see how dry they are, or how wet they are. Whatever. Anyway, I gotta go walk a plot of Berkey. Made it down to Berkey here to our farms, and look at this. Jack must have got our mower fixed up because it's been mowed. It looks very dry here. Look at how much this corn, how short it is next to these trees. Oh boy. According to the little drought monitor maps and stuff, this area is drier than we are at home. Now, I felt like we've gotten a touch more rain here, or at least more consistent rain here. But yeah, it looks pretty dry. It looks real dry. This stuff is short because the deer have come in and chopped the tops off, eating it. That might be why that's short too, but she's sure drying up. Yeah, see this? The deer nipped the ends of the ears right off. Nothing left. Ooh, a small ear. Pollinated and filled out nice. Just not much girth to it. Oh well. Small kernels. Teeny tiny kernels. That's not going to add up. Now that one was the second row and under a tree, so we're going to say that's the whole field, but I don't even see a milk line. This might be black layered. See that little black in there? That's the black layer. That's basically the kernel sealing itself off. It's done. There will be no more moisture getting into that kernel or into this ear. Physiological maturity. Be interesting to see once we get out in the field there. So I am waiting for a customer to come. I have a seed customer who, believe it or not, I have a seed customer who I've actually never met. Messaged me off of my website, I assume from videos and social media presence and stuff. We went through, getting him hooked up with what he needed, what he wanted seed-wise and stuff. He paid for it, and I was going to go and take the seed to him, but then it was getting late. We were busy planting, and so I ended up bringing it and putting it on a pallet and setting it at our Berkey farm here, and I was in the field. He came and picked it up, and I still haven't met him. I went and walked his field for him earlier this year. Still haven't met him. So we're meeting here tonight. Going to walk this field, the plot here. I walked out here quick. This is not the field with the plot. Woods is back that way. This is 102-day corn, if I remember right. 02K39. And just wanted to see what we do see out here. Still very healthy. I don't see any tar spot. Our fungicide worked. Looks great. But the bottom is dying off. You can see we have lots of brown leaves hanging down on the bottom here. That's the plant senescing. It's finishing. It's also pulling nutrients and moisture from these bottom leaves to help finish the ear and the stalk and making sure everything is good. Our stalks are still green and healthy and alive. The husks are drying down, but the top of the plants are still green. That means we're finishing naturally. We're not just dying off, so that's a good thing. Ooh, that was interesting. Let me see here. No, I saw that kind of hole in the husk there. I thought maybe we had a western bean cutworm that had bored through there, but I don't. We got 1 or 2 kernels there that aren't great, but other than that, this ear looks fine. That's not a bad ear. None of these are bad ears. They actually don't look too bad. It's just that kernel size thing is going to be the determining factor this year. The kernel count is there. It's the kernel size. Do we have kernel size? Now this here is a lot better than that first one that we pulled. And you can see a milk line. Maybe half milk line there. So this is still finishing. Yeah, that's going to be okay corn. Lots of rows on that one. Looks good. Oh yeah, on the topic of fungicides and, you know, disease pressure and stuff, I've had a whole bunch of people in the last couple of days comment on my videos or posts about Cole. There's my guys. We might have to finish this in a minute. But about Cole the Cornstar's striping in his corn from his drone application and fungicide. Guys, I shown you drone footage last week of mine, like aerial stuff. We didn't see any streaking. We did not see any patterns or anything like that. Now, I didn't get southern rust like he did, and our corn's dying because it's dry. So I can't say for sure, but I didn't see any of those issues in our stuff. All right, they're taking off. We walked the plot. It looks good. Look at that here. Count those rows, buddy. That's 22 around. That's impressive for what we got out here. Things are dry. It's hurting. But out in there, the plot doesn't look too bad. Big difference between the 99-day and the 112 days as far as maturity. The 99-day is down to like a quarter milk line or getting real close to black layer. The 112 days have just dented. They've got a long ways to go yet. So, yeah, had a real good discussion with these guys, and we'll see. Hopefully we get some seed orders out of that. They're talking about some wheat too, so that's good. Let's see, 7 o'clock. We're heading home for the night. That's going to be it. Brad got our ripping done that we needed to do. We're probably going to keep combining some beans tomorrow. See if we can't finish those couple fields over there. We'll see how it goes and what the moisture is when we haul them beans in the morning. We might decide we got to wait another day. I don't know. And then we're going to do some stuff with some fertilizer here tomorrow morning. We're going to pull the field cultivator out of the fertilizer barn. We got more fertilizer coming. We might start spreading some of that potash. Start working on some of that stuff. There's, like I said, there's never a shortage of things to do. We still got plenty going on. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a great night. Like and subscribe. Harvest is here. Make sure you don't miss anything. We'll see you tomorrow. There's our beans down here at Berkey. They're coming. They're starting to turn, but they're a far cry from what we were combining today, aren't they? It's going to be a minute here.